Hi, and welcome to day 3 of Just Start Programming, creating console terminal apps using Rust and Ratatui. Today we'll go through the code of the JSON editor example that we did yesterday, which is also from Ratatui website. Let's try to understand how it works, do some experimentation. So if you're ready, join me once again live in one take. No shortcuts, no secrets. So let's just start programming. All right, so here we are. So the JSON editor. I think this is the UI layout yesterday. So we just copy and pasted everything. But for today, now is our chance to go through each and every block of code and try to understand it, dissect it a little bit, and try things out. Okay, so we have three main files here. We have the UI. So the UI is like your how should we call it? This is where we build the components or the widgets, and then the main RS is the main application, and then the app RS is the one having the state. Okay, let's start with the main RS, and at the same time let's open up main RS here as well. I'm not sure why the page is loading quite slow. Okay, so main function, we have this one, but it did not describe what enable raw mode is doing here. So let's jump back to the code and see. Main RS, enable raw mode, what's in here? Okay, so this is from terminal. Please have a look at the raw mode section. What does it do? Do you want code to open the external website? Okay, let's open up that one. Okay, open from the other one. Okay, raw mode. By default, the terminal functions in a certain way. The terminal functions in a certain way. For example, it will move the cursor to the beginning of the next line when the input hits the end of the line. or the backspace is interpreted for character removal. Sometimes these default modes are irrelevant, and in this case you can turn them off. This is what happens when you enable raw modes. Okay, those modes will be set when enabling raw modes. Input will not be forwarded to screen. Input will not be processed on enter press. Input will not be line buffered. Input sent byte by byte to input buffer. Special keys like backspace, Ctrl+C will not be processed by terminal driver. New line character will not be processed, therefore print line can't be used. Use write macro instead. Raw mode can be enabled, disabled with the enable raw mode and disable raw. Okay, so where is it? Cross term. No, we did not mention anything about enable raw mode. Okay, it says here by default. Raw mode by default. Okay, so let's run this one first and let's compare it when we disable the raw mode. Press enter, E. Okay, so that one we know. Quit. From here, let's disable raw mode. Let me comment this out, compile it, and run it once again. Okay, so I'm pressing E. So that's the difference. Okay, terminate. How do I stop this? Control Z, Control X. PS-EF grab Ratatui. Okay, let's kill that one. No such process. JSON editor. Oh. Oh man. Let's close the window. That was a big mistake. Let's check once again if we still have Ratatouille. Target debug. JSON editor. Okay, it's gone. Projects, Rust, series 2, Ratatouille, JSON. Okay, so that was a big mistake. Yep, so those modes will be set when enabling raw modes. It's very important. Input will not be forwarded. Input will not be processed on enter press. Special keys like backspace and Ctrl+C. Yeah, so I was trying to terminate it and it didn't happen. No. If it's raw mode, then Control C will not be processed. Yeah. But anyway, it's a big mistake, so let's put it back. Okay, and then let's see what else is here. We have mat std error. This is a special case. Normally using std out is fine. Then you have execute. Okay, so there's a macro here for execute. Arguments, examples. How does it work? Execute will be executed directly. Std out, print. I think it's to std out. Then you have print. It will print this one. Okay, but in this case it executes what is this? Enter alternate screen. What is enter alternate screen? A command that switches to alternate screen. Example. So I think this is still part of cross term. Enter alternate screen. And then what do you have here? Enable mouse capture. A command that enables mouse event capturing. Okay. And then you have backend cross term backend. Is it mentioned here also? No, it was not mentioned here. So we're just creating a backend in this case. And yeah. So the next one, terminal new with this backend. Okay, because we needed the terminal. And here we needed an app. So app is the module. Yesterday I made a mistake, so I tried use, but this is actually a module. Okay, so it's referring to app, and inside app you have the new function where you're creating an instance of app, key input, value input pairs, current screen, and currently editing. Okay. And then here we are running the app, run app. So this is inside where? Let's follow the code. Run app is inside main. It's a function under main rs. There you have a terminal, and then the app. Okay, so it takes two parameters, a terminal and then the app. And then it returns IO result boolean. Okay, so here, yeah, based on this command, you have create app and run it. And inside there's a loop. So Ratatui is in immediate mode. So it means this is the main loop. The main loop that will handle everything. So inside the loop, you have the terminal and you're drawing the UI. Terminal drawing the UI. So what's in here? You have a closure. When you execute draw, you have the F as the frame. And then it calls a function UI given the frame, and then the app is here. Okay, so what does it draw now? Okay, so let's check the UI, or first let's see terminal backend terminal. So this draw function is part of Ratatui terminal draw. Okay. Then here, I think this is a custom function. Let's click on UI. UI is inside UIRS. So this is where all of the layout, the widgets being rendered. So you have frame, of course you need a frame, and then the app. So frame, how is the frame being used? We have layout. Okay, so layout, and then you have vertical. Okay, so I think that one was mentioned somewhere here in my main screen. So vertical, but you are slicing it horizontally. So you have 3 slices. Okay, the first one with a length of 3. I think that will correspond to 3 lines. While this one, minimum of 1. So by the looks of it, it's a bit flexible. So if you run from here, cargo run test.json. So you have this and this. Is it that one? Chunks. Or maybe not. Maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. But anyway, let's just take note there are 3 parts here. Then you have the title block. In the title block, you can define borders. So borders left, borders right. This is a little bit similar to Excel, it seems. Just like when you have a table in Excel, you have borders. And if you specify all, so the cell will be enclosed with border. But then again, that's just my assumption here. And then style. Okay, default style. So you have a title block. And then you have title. So title will be a paragraph. A widget to display some text. It is used to display a block of text that can be styled and aligned. Okay. And you have create new JSON. Where is that? Maybe let's keep this running. Oh, there. Create new JSON. Top. Color green. Okay. So you can have some styling, like the foreground color. I wonder if there's a background color as well. Maybe let's try it out. Just create another style here. Style, colon, default dot, maybe BG for background, color dot, maybe cyan. Do we have cyan? Oops, not dot, but colon cyan. Will it work? No? What's the error? Expected 1 argument, found 2. Quick fix. Let's try to fix it. Use a double colon instead. Oh, that one didn't work. Did not work. How do we put background color? Style, default. Default. If foreground is here, maybe we can just append bg. Okay, so we have background here, color. There, color cyan. Okay, let's try it out. Cargo run. Wow, that one, that's difficult to see. Yeah, but it's good to know that it can display the background color there. Maybe not cyan, maybe let's put it's green, right? Maybe let's remove this. Background is cyan, and then color. What goes well with cyan? Maybe magenta. Let's try magenta. Magenta. All right. Let's see. There. Oh, it's still difficult to see. Maybe not magenta. Let's make it something darker. Maybe black. Oh no, maybe white. Let's put white. There you go. I think it would be nice if even the borders will have the cyan color also. Okay, so let's keep it that way. Okay, then here we have frame render widget, and then what does it do? Frame. Okay, now we're using frame. We're rendering a widget. The widget will accept area. What is area? Area rectangle. Why is it a rectangle? Okay, in here it's chunks. Chunks. Okay, because chunks is apparently a rectangle. RC of rectangle. Does it mean that the layout can return? Okay, this is the layout. Split. Split returns rectangles. Okay, so split returns rectangles. So if you wanted the rectangle, you need to specify the index, chunk index. Okay, because you can see chunks is RC. This RC. What is RC? Alloc. Okay. Reference counter. Okay, to an array of rectangle. Okay, so maybe that's why you have 0 here. Okay, so it's rendering, I think mainly rendering this part. Okay, but we haven't seen the one at the bottom yet. This one, normal mode and Q. Okay, then here for key app pairs keys, list items. List items. What is list items? Okay, you have list items. You're pushing. Okay, so this is the content of the JSON. You have the key and then app pairs. App pairs get the key. Okay, so the app pairs keys. I think if we refer to app, currently editing will have key and value. App pairs will have a hash map of string, so key value also. While we have key input and value input here. Okay. I think this part is the one displaying the content of the JSON, but I see it yellow. Let's try it out. Make a new pair. Key test. Oh, you can also press tab. Test 1 2 3. Enter. This one is also yellow. Background 43. Foreground yellow. Okay, I think this is the one because it's foreground. And then here we have the new list items. Where is list items? List items. Okay, so list item from here. So now you have test. Render widget chunks 1. So it's another rectangle. Let current navigation vect. So you have current screen. The first half of the text. What does it do here? Current screen, normal mode, color green. Oh, it's this part. Okay, chunks 1 is this part. Green. And then main and editing. Main, normal mode, not editing. So if we press E, then it switches, editing JSON key. Okay, so normal mode, editing mode, these are just styled, editing mode and exiting. So normal mode, color green, editing mode becomes yellow, exiting light red. So when we press Q here, Q, light red, exiting. Where is exiting? It's only when it's okay exiting, then light red. Ah, okay. I think this is referring to the pop-up. Then what do we have here? To owned. Creates own data from borrowed data, usually by cloning. What do we have to own here? Vect. Inside vect you have a match. Not owned. I don't understand why we have to own here. Okay, let's skip it. We have span. Okay, I think this part is this part. Color white. Yeah, because you can see it's white. And then there's a logic here that drives the screen. If currently editing, if it's editing, then editing JSON key becomes green, and editing JSON value becomes light green. Else not editing anything. Okay, so here not editing anything is white. Not editing anything. Okay, so it's this part here. Yeah. So if not editing anything, dark gray, then here we have normal mode, which is green here. So the UI is being updated based on the state of app currently editing. Okay, match. The first one is it's checking the current screen. The second one is checking this currently editing, the state of currently editing. Currently editing key value. Okay, so if we try it from here, so we are editing key, it's in editing mode, so yellow. And then since we are editing key, it shows editing JSON key over here, green. Okay, so if we type test, enter, so we are now under value, it will show editing JSON value, which is light green. Okay. Oops. Testing 2, 3. Okay, so that is that part. Next we have this mode footer. There's a paragraph block. Okay, so yeah, it could be this part here. Mode footer. Where's it being used? Oh, mode footer is here. Footer chunks. Now it's using footer chunks. Then who is footer chunks? Footer chunks is here. Direction horizontal. So it's horizontal. And if you're doing a split, so it's vertical. So percentage 50, so 50, 50. So it will be divided in half. Okay. It's for the footer chunks. 0. How about footer chunks 1? What's in here? No. Footer chunks 1. Which one is 0? chunks 2. Is chunks 2. Which one is chunks 2? Footer chunk 0. Mode footer. And this one is keynotes footer. Okay, so this one is chunks 1. Keynote footer. Mode footer is this part here is a bit confusing. Mode footer. Which one is mode footer? Okay, mode footer is here. Mode footer is here. So you have a paragraph, and based on the current screen, okay, so this part here is this one. So if main or editing or exiting, then it will show different messages here. Okay, or different contents. So that is mode. Who is using current key hits? Current key hits, that is keynotes footer. Okay, so this is for keynotes footer. Navigation. Then chunk 0. Who is chunk 0? Is it this part? Chunks 0. Okay, let's try to change this. Maybe let's make it 1. It will happen. Now, so it means that chunk 0 is this part here. Okay. That is chunk 0. Okay. Okay. What else do we have here? Some editing. If you're currently editing, there's a pop-up block. And in the pop-up block, it will show enter a new key value pair. Borders none, dark gray. Pop-up block. Then let area centered rectangle. So there was a function earlier how to center a rectangle. It was calling that one. Frame area. Frame render widget. This area. Then pop-up block. It will show this one. Let's try it out. Edit. Create new JSON. Oops. Okay, so and this is the pop-up block. Enter a new key value pair. How do we know the size of this? I think it's based on this rectangle area here, 60 25. 60, 25. Borders none, maybe because this one doesn't have a border here. Okay, let's try something out. Let's put a border so that we can see what is the space it occupies. Let's put all, and let's run this one, and then create a new one. There. So there's a border. So the pop-up actually occupies this size, but the content would be, I'm assuming it's these pop-up chunks. Direction horizontal, so horizontal sideways, and then you're slicing it vertically. Margin 1. Where's the margin? This space here and this space, or is it in between? Could be in between. Let's see. Margin, set the margin of the layout. Only one. Constraints, percentage, 50, 50. So I think it will split it to 50, 50 here. Layout, split area. Okay, so why not we change it a little bit so that we can visualize it better. We comment it out, then make this 20, then make this, of course, 80. So it means this part here will be smaller compared to this part. Okay. Okay, enter, yeah, that's how it will look like. All right. Key block. So the key block will have the title, so it's a block. You have key, and then you have borders, border all. And then you have the value block, value, borders all. Okay, but at this point, you don't have the yellow background for value. For key, you have. Let's inspect what makes that yellow. I think here, active style. Okay, active style will have a style or light yellow and then color black. And then, so there's a logic here that will be executed. So meaning inside this UI, you have both the rendering, and then you also have the logic on how it should be rendered. Because you have currently editing key. If it's key, then key block, this key block, we're setting the style to yellow. If it's a value, then we're setting it to this one. But how do we reset it back? Because if we put the key here, press enter, yeah, so it's back to normal. Maybe not from here, maybe in the next one. Let key text paragraph input clone, block, key block. Okay, so this one will just render pop-up chunks. So 2080, pop-up chunk 0 would be the key. Pop-up chunks 1 would be the value text. Okay. All right. So if let current screen exiting, so this is another logic. But what happens to the style? So if it's active style, it becomes yellow. But if it's not the active style, dark gray. Dark gray, okay. Dark gray is that one. Enter a new key value pair. Okay, the background is dark gray, but if we are in key, what happens to the background? Active style. Background color is light yellow. Okay, so if it's looping, of course the background would be dark gray, right? And then if it goes through here, then it will check only value is yellow now, so it keeps on looping. If you are under the key block, if this one holds true, matches key, then only key block will have yellow. Yeah. Okay, so that part is clear. Current screen. Current screen, we are rendering a widget. Frame area, what does it say? This clears the entire screen and anything already drawn because of clear. But you have yes, no. Yes, no, okay. Would you like, okay, because this is exiting. So if it's exiting, it will clear the screen, as what we have observed before. Then you have yes, no, and then you're asking yes or no. The style of the font, the color foreground is red. Okay, rectangle centered rect, so it's still the same. 6025, same size as this one. Render widget, exit paragraph, or maybe if we change it a little bit, we change it a little bit to instead of 60, maybe just 40. How about that? Enter, quit. So this is the same size as the previous pop-up. Oops, what happened? It's wrong. Oh man. Projects, Rust. JSON editor. cargo run test.json. Let's expand it a little bit. Edit testing 1 2 3 with yeah, it looked a little bit smaller. Oh, can you run it again? That was terrible. Anyway, that's this is a sample application. That's it. Series 2 Ratatui JSON editor. Let me run it again. Cargo run test.json. I'll just press quit. Yes. Oh, because I pressed no. I pressed no and there seems to be a bug. Okay. So we will not press no in this case. All right, so here, so that area shrunk a little bit because we have set it to 40. Okay, so that's just the UI, everything regarding the UI and then the logic on which one to display is being handled here. Then let's move on to, let's come back to main again. Okay, so you have the loop where you're drawing the UI first. And then here you have if let. This time we are checking the event where, okay, so if the kind of event is release. Skip events that are not key event kind press. Does it mean? Okay, so it will skip events that are not key event kind press. Why is it release? So it's like releasing the key, from releasing the key. Okay. Continue. Match up current screen. So this is we're checking the state of the current screen. If you're under main, then the key code, we're checking again. Okay, we're checking if it's current screen, and then we're checking key code. So I think this is a nested match here. And inside the key code, character E, so it means you're editing. So it's just setting the state of current screen to editing. And currently editing some current editing key. What is currently editing? Come back here, currently editing, you have key and value. Okay, so it's set to some key. Okay, because you have option here, option. So for option, you have some or none. And then the content would be currently editing key or value. That's why it's enclosed in sum. And then here, if it's Q, current screen exiting. Okay, when we press Q, I think that's the no, it's under yes, no. If it's exiting, yes or no. Return OK true. Here, return OK false. Else, do nothing. So if you are current screen editing, in this case, key event kind is press. Okay, because you're editing, pressing a key. If you press enter, currently editing, it checks the value of currently editing. If it matches key, then currently editing okay, because if you are under key at the moment and if you press enter, then it will move to value. Yeah, but if you are inside value, if you press enter, then it will save the save key value. So save key value will insert to pairs. So here it will insert it to this one. Okay, so that's why you will see it output in the middle also. Then current screen is main, goes back to main. Okay, but if you press backspace, and if you are currently editing, so it will pop. It will pop what? Pop from a string. So apparently string will have pop value. It's just to remove the last character, it seems. Removes the last character from the string buffer and returns it. Okay, so backspace will delete the last character moving backwards. Yep, so the same for value. Escape will bring you to main. Currently editing none. Tab, oh, okay, so maybe that's why tab was working, because of toggle editing. Yeah, so you are moving from key to value and then value back to key. So we can see it from here. And it press tab. Okay, so it is this part here. Escape, quit, yes. And then print JSON. Print JSON. So this one I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Okay, let's read. Third day JSON. JSON is a ubiquitous open standard format that uses human readable text to transmit data objects consisting of key value pairs. So it will generate a JSON. In this case, it will get the pairs, convert it into string, and then just simply print line. But where is print JSON being called? Is it in main? Toggle editing. Where was it? Was it called? Yeah, okay, maybe we'll encounter that later on. So if we go through main, that's all it does. So it will check on, okay, display, it will display the UI and check for events. It can be summarized in two. Display and then check the event. After checking the event, of course, this is a loop. It goes back and display the new UI based on the previous event. So somehow, while it keeps on looping, it retains the state when it loops. Okay, so that is main. So everything is happening within this one, run app. So if we exit or we press no, not escape, but where's quit? Q exiting here. Return, so it will return okay to true. Okay, so it will return okay to true. Then it will disable raw mode. It will loop. It will loop. Inside the loop, it will return a result. So if we are exiting, return OK to true. Retains the success value. Okay, true or false. So rest will hold either true or false. But either way, it will disable raw mode. Then execute terminal. I think this is something that needs to be done here. Backend mutable. Gets the backend as a mutable reference. And then leave. Okay, so this is part of the terminal. Cross-term terminal. Leave alternate screen, a command that switches back to the main screen. And then disable mouse capture. Oh, does it mean that if we are disabling the mouse here, it means that there would be mouse here. Also, edit. Okay. So nothing is happening. Yes. Command that disables mouse event capturing. And terminal show cursor. So it's exiting from the JSON editor, and then it will show the cursor back again. But why do we have a bug when we press N? If this is false, turn OK false. If it's false, where is the rest being used? Okay, so no, it means it would print error, so it will not. Okay, print JSON is here. If you press yes, then it will update the JSON file. If not, it will not update anything, and it will print line an error. So either way, if this one terminates, it returns. Okay, so it's like we're coming out of the loop by returning. Yeah, by returning, because from here there is no return command. This one will just continue the loop. It's only here that it will exit. So it will exit. So whether true or false, it will disable the raw mode. But that is weird, because if we press N, it will mess up the display. So if it messes up the display, it means it wasn't able to restore the terminal properly. Yeah, but there's a bug there. Okay. Run app. Okay, so show the cursor, and then here is just to print the JSON or not, displaying the error. That's all there is in main. So now let's inspect app. So in app, this is where we define the structure. Current screen as an enum, you have main, editing, exiting, currently editing. So if you have a pop-up and we wanted to know the state, whether you're editing key or value, so this is the one that stores the state. No, this is just the structure. It's an enum, but this is the one that stores the state. Current screen and currently editing. Save key value. Yeah, so here, this is where you're inserting into a hash map, and one important concept here is clone. So it's cloning a string. Actually, we're not using any references here, but we are cloning the string so that we can insert it in the hash map. Key input, value input, and it's a new string. Currently editing, set to none. Okay, toggle editing, I think we have covered this when we were going through the UI. And yeah, so that's it. there were no test cases that were created under main. I think if we do this from scratch by just barely touching on counter app and the hello ratatouille, I think it's quite difficult. Yeah, it's good that we have this example here already created, so it gives us like a mind map of how you should structure the application. So it's in immediate mode mainly. Here you have run app where you have the loop. Yeah, I think this is the key thing. So you're drawing the UI first and then you check for event. So the next time it runs, this one will render it according to the event previously. Okay. All right, so I think we can end there. We have gone through the code, mostly the important parts of the code. Yeah, there is still some here that is heavily dependent on Ratatouille, of course, such as enable raw mode. These screens here, which we need to check from the concepts later on. Right? And let's continue with this one. What is this? Closing thoughts. Is my network slow or I think next time I would have to oh, now I cannot reach the website. Oh, there. Closing thoughts. Okay, so it's to get us started with a basic understanding of the flow of Ratatouille program. However, this is only one way to create Ratatouille application. Because Ratatouille is relatively low level compared to other UI frameworks, almost any application model can be implemented. You can explore more of this in concepts, application patterns, and get some inspiration for what model will work best for your application. All right, so this one is where application pattern, the Elm architecture. Oh, so while that one is loading, we can take a look at some of the examples. App examples. Oh, this is a demo, cross-term demo, tab 0, tab 1, tab 2. I can do something like this. Nice. In different colors as well. You can have a chart, bar chart, footer. This one is quite colorful also. Is that 256 color? Or maybe. And then this block, I assume it's one of the ASCII code where you press out key 77. could be 177. Let's try google.com ASCII. Let's come back to that later. Okay, so meaning we can design more colorful UI also like this. Then you have an option to have this one, hello world, quite simple. Inline, you can do inline. Okay, so this inline thing maybe where was that? Enable raw mode. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't be doing the raw mode if that's the case. Minimal, hello world. How minimal is minimal? ASCII table. Panic. This is panic handler demo. Okay. This one. I like this one. I like this one. This one looks like the Norton Disc Doctor. The 90s. Yeah, but what's missing here is the, if you press P, so there's a pop-up. It would be nice if there's some shadow. If there's a shadow, yeah. Maybe one of these days we can build something like that. Maybe if there's a pop-up, whatever's behind it, we'll change the shadow a little bit. Ratatouille logo, yeah, this one. You can combine 178 maybe. Where's the ASCII table? ASCII table. 177, 178, 179. Let's check what are the values. I can vaguely remember that's how you build all those squares from ASCII. You press the Alt key, Alt 177, 176, 177, 178, 179. User input. There's a blinking cursor here as well, so you can do this. Like network configuration where you, okay, so you fill in the IP address. Okay, ASCII code, extended. Where are the blocks? Okay. One 76. Oh, it's different. ASCII characters, ASCII art. Where are those? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong table. Yeah. anyway, it's good to know that you can do all of these things. So there are demos here as well. Okay, demo. Okay, this is the code. Those are the codes. Then here we have some layout examples. Okay, constraint explorer. Oh, you can have some flex center, flex end. So you can have some kind of a responsive layout. And then you can have constraints. Then you can do this with tables also. Flex. Okay. Constraint explorer. What do you have here? Guess my network is quite slow if I'm streaming, if I'm browsing from here. Okay, so you have constraint explorer. Constraint. I think the best way of learning this is, say, if we have a project where we wanted to make use of all of these layouts. And then we just search here in the Ratatui documentation also. So there will be, we can make this as a reference. And then, yeah, but before we create something useful, maybe let's take another day to go through the concepts as well. We go through the concepts. Increment values, what's under the concepts? It's still loading. It's taking forever. Okay, so the plan for the next day, we'll go through the concepts, trying to learn more about Ratatouille. And then once we have covered this, then we'll go through, yeah, some recipes. We'll try some things. And then finally, after we've gone through this, maybe I'll think of a small project where we can apply Ratatouille, or maybe we'll enhance the JSON editor, or yeah, enhance the JSON editor a bit. Okay, so that's the plan. All right, so let me end here for now, and hope to see you guys and join me once again on the next day, on the next video. But before I finally end, let me thank my supporters. Thank you so much.